Hey everybody, it's Odin, and in this week's video, we're going to be going over 25 mistakes that new furries make. Now everybody, at some point, is a new furry. I've done plenty of videos about all the mistakes that I made as a new furry, including a terrible fursuit that only cost me $2,000. Whoops! But this video is going to go over all these mistakes that you might make if you're a new furry, or if you're not a new furry, mistakes you have made. So, whether you're new, welcome, or whether you're old, hi. This video is still for you. The first mistake that new furries tend to make is a character that is way too complicated. I'm talking rainbow, I'm talking sparkles, I'm talking 50 spots, everything, different patterns, and oh my god, seriously though, when I made my first persona, rainbow streak in the hair, I had to everybody know how gay I was. A lot of new furries will tend to make their personas so complicated because they're just so excited and it's all new and they just want to include every idea they have into one character. And it always, well, 99% of the time, it looks terrible. So like they always used to say, kiss, keep it simple, stupid. And the second mistake that a lot of new furries will make is that they make a persona that is inspired by or way too similar to a popular furry that they like. Sometimes this means blatantly ripping off, but sometimes it's just like they take a poppy first persona and then they like add a marking or a color and they're like, this is me, this is my OC, do not steal. You don't do that. Inspiration's okay, but make sure your character is a reflection of you and it's not a reflection of somebody out there who already has their established character. Keep it original. Original is important. The third mistake that a lot of new furs make is that they don't get a reference sheet for their persona. Now, if you have a character, it's very important that you have what is called a reference sheet. It's a sheet that shows a front view, a side view, and a back view, and maybe a little blurb about your character. Why? Well, if you're commissioning art, an artist needs to know exactly what your character looks like, so all the art you commission will be consistent, and it's an actual reflection of your character, not them looking at another piece of art that you got done and guessing the markings and what your character is like. No artist like that. There's a lot of good reference sheet makers out there. Look for them on Twitter, on Fur Affinity, whatever site you want. But get a reference sheet. Or there's even free templates out there that you can draw your markings on. That's fine too. Just make sure you have a reference sheet. It will save you so much stress in the future. And if you ever commission anything, it saves the artist a lot of stress too. The fourth mistake that new furries make, and oh boy, is this a big one, is they think they need a fursuit. They really think they have to have a fursuit. That is not true. There are so many furries out there who don't have a fursuit. There's a lot of furries out there who never get a fursuit. And you know what? It's quite okay. I know a lot of the content makers that you might watch out there have fursuits, and that's cool, but you don't need one. You don't need a rush to get one either, especially if you're a young fur coming into the fandom. There are so many young furs that are like, I'm gonna get my fursuit as soon as I can, I'm saving up, and it's like, okay, cool, that's a good goal, but you don't need it right away. All right, there's so much to do in this fandom, so much to see that doesn't include a fursuit. And I know they're great, they're fun, but you don't need one. You don't need one. The fifth mistake that new furs make is they ask for free art. Don't ask for free art. Just don't do it. Like, I've said it in other videos for other topics, but just don't ask for free art. Art is something that people practice over time and they get good at, and it's their time. You're asking for someone's time for free without giving them anything in compensation. You could always do art trades, that's fine. Or you know what, better yet, just save up and eventually commission an artist you like. No one wants to be asked in the DMs, hi, free art place. The sixth mistake that new furs make, ooh, that's a tongue twister, is sort of along the same veins as the last one, and that is e-begging for fursuits. And that means creating like GoFundMes for fursuits, like campaigns asking for people for money to pay for their fursuits. Don't do this. Just don't do it. If you have to do a GoFundMe for a fursuit, guess what? You shouldn't have a fursuit, all right? Earn it yourself. Work for your fursuit like everybody else had to do. People aren't gonna just give you money to get your fursuit. But if you're a new furry, save up for a fursuit like a normal person. Save up for stuff like everybody else does. The seventh mistake that new furs make is to ask to get noticed. They literally ask to get noticed. And I've streamed, I've made social media posts, and they just say, notice me please. And some of them, it's ironic, but some of them, it's not. They really ask to get noticed. And oh boy, if there's a way to not get noticed, it's to ask to be noticed. Because that is the last comment I ever want to respond to while I'm streaming or, tweeting or something like that. Don't ask to get noticed. Instead, engage them in conversation. Ask them a question. Try to relate to somebody on something. Anything is better than asking to get noticed. The eighth mistake that new furs make is they start with the goal in mind to get popular. It's not up to me to tell you what your goals should be, honestly, but if you start out with the intent that you want to be popular, and that's just what you want to do, it's probably not the best goal, and it's probably not going to work out for you, because in order to get popularity, generally somebody needs to do something that other people like dance and be good at it, or create videos and have people like them, create art that's fantastic. It's usually not just because they want to be popular. So like, it's cool if you want to be popular, but that's probably not the best goal to start out with. Instead, just like try to be good at a skill, and then if other people like it, maybe you'll get popular, and that's just a side effect of what you do, or try to entertain people, something like that. It's a much better goal than just saying you want to be popular, because bleh. The ninth mistake that new furs make is that they spend so much money so quick, and I'm guilty of this. Oh my god, am I guilty of this? When I was younger, new to the fandom, I spent so much money on commissions. So much money on commissions. It was stupid how much money I spent on commissions. Hundreds of dollars for a bunch of adult art. Oh god. It's great that I was supporting artists and all. I highly recommend you do that. However, when you're new to the fandom, don't spend all your money right away. You know, just take it a little slow. But spend sparingly. Spend what you can afford. Don't just jump in and spend all your money right away, because I know a lot of people do that with hobbies, and furry really is included in that. So slow your roll a bit, you know? Now the 10th mistake that new furs make is that they only follow PoppyFurs on YouTube or other social media. Now, don't get me wrong, I really want you to follow me on YouTube and Twitter, and please subscribe to me on YouTube, by the way, and TikTok and all that. Subscribe if you haven't already, come on. I really want you to subscribe to me and all that, but there are a lot of smaller creators that really do great content, and you can follow them too. Don't just subscribe to Majira or whatever, you know, the biggest people on each platform. Try to expand your horizons and follow a lot of the smaller creators, because believe me, some of the best stuff comes from the smaller creators sometimes. Don't limit yourself to the PoppyFurs. The 11th mistake that new furs make, oh god, and sometimes experienced furs, I'll be honest, but they lie for attention. I see this all the time, and some of the lies are very, you know, small, and some of them are extremely egregious. Either way, lying for attention, it doesn't work out. People will find out you're lying. Really, just don't lie. Your life is so much better if you don't lie. I don't know, is this life advice with Odin? I don't know. Don't lie for attention. It's terrible. You don't want negative attention. Negative attention's not good. Be yourself. People want to know you. They don't want to know some fake idea of you. Trust me, be true to yourself and you will be happier. Don't lie for attention. The 12th mistake that new furs make is that they go with the cheap option instead of the tried and true option. What do I mean by this? Well, sometimes they'll see fursuits that are very, very cheap and they'll go with that, and the quality's very low, or they don't hold up, or they later regret it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with cheaper stuff, because some people can't afford expensive stuff. I get it. But I'm just saying a lot of people will opt for the cheaper thing even when they can afford the better thing, because they just think, oh, I'm saving money, it's great. When in reality, over time, you may find that cheaper thing, you look at it and you go, oh god, that's actually terrible, and now I need to buy another one, and I'm spending more money, and oh god, it doesn't hold up over time. Instead of going with a cheap thing, I recommend saving up for the tried and true. Really try to get the thing from somebody who has a lot of experience, or that they're really good. Just try to see reviews and stuff like that. So just make sure what you're getting is good, because cheaper is nice, but it's not always the greatest option. The 13th mistake that new furs make is they go to a convention and they don't plan anything out. This happens all the time, for real. They just go to a convention and they're like, okay, I'm here. What now? So I recommend you definitely, you know, try to plan it out. Try to find a friend group to go with. Try to get a room with people you're going to also hang out with at the con. It's fun sometimes to go without a goal in mind, but oftentimes, especially if you're a new fur, it doesn't work out. And I really want, you know, your first time at a convention to be a positive experience. So plan things out. The 14th mistake that new furs make is worse than the last one, is that they go to a convention or an event and they don't have money for it. I mean, they really don't have money for it. Sometimes they end up sleeping in their car. They don't pay their roommates for the room. They don't have enough money for food. And you're probably thinking, as a sane person, wait, no, that doesn't really happen, right? Nobody's that stupid. Furries do this all the time, and it is infuriating. Do not go to a convention. Do not go to an event if you can't afford it, period. Save up for an event. Don't put your financial burden on the other people that you're rowing with or that you're going with, because that is terrible and it makes you a bad person. Don't go to an event if you can't afford it. Save up like everybody else has to do. The 15th mistake that new furries make is that they think they have to come out as a furry. A lot of new furries really do believe this, that they have to have some sit down with their parents and be like, Mom, Dad, I'm a furry. And guess what? You don't. It's a hobby. You don't have to come out as a furry. The 16th mistake that new furries make is that they just take some image they found of somebody else's art and they use it as their profile picture. This happens all the time, especially for popular pictures and art. They just take someone else's character and they're like, this is me online now. Hello. Like, I've seen people do it with me too. They're like, hello, I'm Odin Wolf. And it's like, no, that's art I paid for. That's my character. What can you not do that, please? Don't take other people's art, okay? Use your own art, commission your own art, draw your own art. There's a lot of alternatives to straight up stealing art and using it as your own. 17th mistake that new furries make, and this is a terrible one, is that they trace art. If you're trying to like get better at art, you can trace it. That could be a way that you learn how to get better. However, if you do trace it, don't post it anywhere ever. That's for your own, like, trying to like use it as a reference or whatever. Don't ever post anywhere. Don't trace art and post it as your own. Just don't do it ever. There's no excuse for tracing art and posting it online. Draw your own stuff. Be your own person. Don't steal. The 18th mistake that new furries make is that they use somebody else's characters to roleplay. I've come across posts where people literally say that they are Odin Wolf and they use my character to do adult roleplays with. And oh boy, does that make me a little creeped out, and I hate it. Don't take other people's characters to roleplay with, okay? Use your own character. You're supposed to be creative. That's the point of roleplay. Or I guess to get your rocks off. But seriously, with roleplay, use your own character. Jeez. The 19th mistake that new and honestly experienced furries make is that they engage in drama heavily. Now, the best thing that I have learned over the years in my fandom is to not engage in the drama. There's always a new furry drama. Every single day, every week, there's something new furries are mad about or whatever. And most of the time, it's appropriate to just not add to that fervor. It's so much better. It's so much less stressful if you just don't comment on it. In fact, you can freaking unfollow people and mute so you don't have to see the newest drama, because guess what? Life is better when you're not constantly stressed out about what furries are mad at. Seriously, this is probably the most important one on the list that experienced furries really need to learn from. Unless you have something really important and poignant to say, most of the time that's not the case, don't comment on the drama. Don't add fuel to the fire, because man, there's a lot of it lately and it's so much better without it. The 20th mistake that new furs make is they complain about prices. You know what? It's okay if you don't think a price is good. That's fine. If you think it's too high, okay. You know what you can do though, is not say it. You don't need to say, your prices are too high, I don't like it. Keep that to yourself. Or if it's your friend and they ask you, is this too high? You can give that advice. That's fine. That's different. But don't comment on someone's post complaining about their prices, because guess what? It doesn't matter if you don't like their price, because if someone's willing to pay it, that's what it's worth. The 21st mistake that new furs make is they shame furries for the adult side of the fandom. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of adults in the furry fandom. There's a lot of adults in the furry fandom that like adult things. And you know what? That's actually really okay. The full fandom doesn't have to be PG at all times. As long as it's consenting adults doing consenting adult things, shut up about it. Just the fandom can have an adult aspect to it. That's okay. We're not Disney. We don't have to have everything be squeaky clean at all times. As long as it's kept appropriate and respectful, it's okay. It's okay, new furries. There's an adult aspect of furry fandom, and it's truly, I'm here to tell you, it's okay. The 22nd mistake that new furries make is they literally ask for someone's fursuit. And you might think I'm kidding, but it happens more than you think. They just would be like, can I have your fursuit? Hey, can I have your old fursuit? Guess what? No, you cannot. No. The 23rd mistake that new furries make is they're really all gung-ho about furry pride. And you know, it's okay to be prideful about something you're excited about, but maybe having like a rainbow furry pride shirt on and ears and a tail all the time and telling everybody how excited you are to be a furry might not be the best. Take the furry pride and maybe a few notches down. It's okay to be excited, but let's tone it down a bit down here, okay? The 24th mistake that new furries make is that they fursuit in really inappropriate places. Now, I'm talking like, they'll just just wear their fursuit to like school or something when it's highly inappropriate to do so, or in public just for attention, like really annoying negative attention. It's cool you got a fursuit, but you don't need to wear it all the time. Be mindful of where you're wearing it and wear it at appropriate times, please, because we get you like attention attention, but negative attention, really not so great. Don't fursuit in stupid places, okay? 25th mistake that new furs make is not asking for hugs, but they demand them. And I've been at conventions and they just like come over and like assault me for a hug, and it's like, hey, guess what? I have personal space and it would be great if you respected it. Now, if you ask me, hey, Odin, can I have a hug? I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure, okay, that's great. Just ask and be respectful. Respect people's boundaries, for real. Don't demand hugs and stuff. That's just rude, okay? Now, the 26 super secret mistake that furries make, I know the video says 25, but I just had to throw this in, is that they don't subscribe and hit the bell for my channel. Like, really, you watched this far? Come on, subscribe and hit the bell. It really helps out a lot. Also, check me out on Patreon if you haven't already. Patreon.com/OdinWolf. It is the best way to support me. It's how I can keep doing videos like these for you guys every single week. Seriously, it's how I live. Also, I have awesome merch like this bandana on my store Envy. Like a lot of cool merch, for real. I'm getting a lot of new stuff in. You should really check it out. Also, I have a P.O. box and Amazon wishlist right here and in the description of all my videos, so check it out. I hope you enjoyed this 25 mistakes that new furs make. And honestly, a lot of these are mistakes that experienced furs make too, but you know what I mean. Like, new furries and old furries alike can make some of the same mistakes, but here, now we can avoid them now that we've gone over them. Anyway, it's been Odin Wolf, and bye-bye. And as always, I want to thank my patrons, especially the 3 at Double Diamond tier, Trafalgar, Taj, and Adalwin Ironhoof. Thank you for your supreme generosity last month. I appreciate you guys so much. And everybody at Diamond, King17, David G, Lord Hoot, Jaded Fox, Kalendon, Multiroy, Deku Panda, Jax, and Kunlo. Thank you, all of you for your Diamond support last month. You guys are so incredible. Mwah, awkward kissy noise. And everybody at Platinum, Alpha ELP, Leo V, Wolf Medic, Wolfman 2011, Kevin J, Simon H, Sakagami, Snowy Wolf, Robert Deere, Dante Wolf, Fluffy Cinnamon Roll, Blotto, Dynamo, Tuntanka, Daldragon, and Fluffy Shadow Snow, Cutter, Gage, Jiku Mateus, Slip Fox, and North American Patriot. You guys are absolutely the best. Thank you so much for your support. And everybody at Gold, Silver, and other tiers, thank you for everything you do for me.